Welcome. This is Mudding with BEAGS, episode 45. Beagle, roll them credits. Let's go mudding.
What is it? Is it Treasure Man?
New York, circa 1900, John C. Grawl's Art Store, 217 Fifth Avenue. And I think this is just interesting. Got arched windows. And I think it's interesting the juxtaposition between this young lady here and this big ass door. I mean, it's just kind of overkill, I think. It's just, why would you design a store? Look, this door is twice as high as she is, almost. I mean, removing the hat, okay, big ass hat. It the door is twice as high as she is. So, I mean, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. We got prism glass here. These are some of the fancy ones too. Those right there would be very valuable at this point. If you found them on eBay, you'd be paying thousands. Easy. Yeah. For two of those, easy 3,000. Easy. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, we got pavement light all across the bottom here. Right there. That's all pavement light. And there's coal hole cover right there. And right there. And these are windows underneath the little store displays here. And they go down into the basement. And this one looks like it might be ventilating also. But these are ways to get light under the basement as well. Removal sale. Okay. I mean, just look at the size of this lady. It's just, and it don't even look right. Look where the door handles are in relation to the in relation to the door. I mean, that doesn't even really, security wise, it doesn't even make sense. Like, security, your strongest point would be in the center of the door. And so you have your lock down here. The easiest place to break in this door would be at the top. All you have to do is pry up here, pops right open. You know? And you got this big old piece of glass in here. I mean, it's just ridiculous. There's some fancy mirrors. Removal sale. Great reduction sale. Alrighty. These are odd windows. Not sure what's going on there. That's facade right there. Not sure what they got going there. Canned meats. What's that say? The hat shop. Oh, we have moved. Okay. Alright, anyways, moving on. We got New York, 1905, Dreamland Park, Coney Island. And let's see what we can find. Got some gawkers here. Gawking at something. Must be a pretty lady about. That might be the pretty lady. I don't know. That's a mini train. I believe this is what they used in the Underground Railroad. And I believe the Underground Railroad was an actual railroad and not the fabricated story of tunnels that went underground to transport slaves. I believe that the Underground Railroad was an actual Underground Railroad. A little mini Underground Railroad. They used narrow gauge track. And I believe if you look into that, you'll find that to be quite a possibility. So check into that. Boater hats. Boater hats have interesting history. Everybody's in uniform, if you notice. That's a uniform. That's a uniform. They went into central casting and they got their uniform. And that's an elephant. There's another elephant. Because that just, that's normal. We got trained lions, tigers, bears, panthers, wolves, elephants, hyenas. Okay. You trained a hyena. Alright. Alrighty. And this picture doesn't show it. I don't believe. Yeah, it does. Okay. I've listened to somebody recently, and they were talking about how at these Coney Island sites, how you can't see any of the wiring, and that's actually not correct. You can see the wiring. It's there. This isn't the best picture in the world, but I have pictures of the wiring. It's in between these lights. There are images of the wiring, and it's not done very well. Check out that dude. Evil looking dude. But yeah, the wiring is there. Yeah, this picture is not clear enough to see it, but I can see it because I know what I'm looking for. But it's in between these lights. They just wired it with black electrical line, and it went in between the lights. It was nothing fancy. It's really ugly if you see it. They didn't do a good job of hiding it. They used black wire so it stands out on the white. And the reason I guess people think maybe there's no wiring is because in a picture of a photograph such as this, it doesn't show up. The wiring's just too thin in order for the camera to catch it. But it's there. So if you want to know how they wired this up, they wired it with electrical line. Look at this horse shit. I guess those are supposed to represent cannons. You got your Tartarian lions. Yeah, I said it. What you gonna do about it? Nothing. Whole bunch of nothing. Little ether antenna. I wonder what this thing's sucking out of air. It's this steeplechase deal here. Above all, general bumps. Well, that's odd. I don't know what in the world that thing is. There's a lot of people watching it though. I wonder what that ride was. Puritan water. So they were selling water like that back then. I thought they came up with that, in my time. Illusions. Baltimore fire. So here they are again, showing off, stuff that they destroyed, which is fascinating, like the Galveston flood I guess it was the Galveston flood, but anyways, where Galveston got flooded out. But that why do we need to see the Baltimore fire? Why would you go to an amusement park to see, people's travesties? I mean, what kind of sick person does that? I mean, is that not odd? Or am I looking at it the wrong, down the wrong end of the telescope here? Hooligan's Dream. Ooh, I like that. I'll ride that. The Temple of Mirth. That's interesting. They had a Temple of Mirth at the St. Louis 1904 World's Fair. That looks like a Star Fort image right there, kind of. But anyways, a lot of times you look at these pictures more and more, you got ladder leans. There was another one over here. That's the technology we had, because we can handle that. Mr. Contractor can build a ladder. Mr. Contractor can use a ladder. So there's lines in between here. You just can't see it too good. Now, some of these, they it's hard to tell. With some of there's the fleur-de-lis, which would represent the torus field and or the flat Earth. That might be Boss Man. I don't know. Hard to tell. A lot of Boss Mans around. Okay, moving on. We got Philadelphia circa 1909 Girard Trust Company. Okie dokie daddy. And we got Pooper Scooper Boy. That might be a different guy. That would be Pooper Scooper Boy. Lots of people in uniform. Meeting of the Boss Mans here. Got Pavement Light here. Ain't it purty? Pavement Light is cover up for the Mudflood. I've said it once, I've said it twice, and I'll keep saying it until somebody hears me. I got a big enough mouth, I can just keep running it until, you know, y'all get it. But that's a Pavement Light there. Arc light. Building construction. Well, Mr. Contractor built this, obviously. Can you tell the difference between what Mr. Contractor is capable of and what Mr. Contractor did not do? I mean, is it kind of obvious yet to you? I mean, Mr. Stick Framer can stick frame the shit out of something now. He can engineer a piece of wood like nobody else. I mean, this is true. Old World Trolley. Yep, I believe Old Trolley's is Old World. That's me opinion. Check out that big old window. That's a nice building. Let's see. Let's see if we can see more down into there, but you can't. That's the side of a building. They've taken out the floor joist here. The joist would go. I believe this is a sign of old world construction, is when the floor joist went into the brick. Now they'll say that, oh, that's how they built the buildings back then. They just built the joist right into the brick. That's how they did. But I think, this is my opinion as well, that the old world buildings with the joist going into brick, I think those are old world buildings. I don't think we built them. I don't think that's our technology. Got Phoenician shells up here on this sucker. Big old arches, windows. Look at that dome. Good gravy. Smokestack, that ain't a smokestack. That might be part of a wind catcher right there. Those little holes right there. Wind catcher was a system that moved around the air throughout the building. That's pretty. That's very interesting. I wonder if that's an old world image and they left it, because that's really detailed. Interesting. Very interesting. These represent the torus field. Old world ether lights. That big ass door. Women in uniform. Men in uniform. It's an underground trap door here. Possibly pavement light or ventilation grates. Hard to tell there. Ladder lean. Another ladder lean. That's our tech. Got something going on down there in the corner. Some kind of underground business there. Check out those big ass arches. Got some detail there on the building. Of course, awnings are something we came up with. You're not going to build a beautiful building like this and then put horseshit awnings on them. That was definitely us. We found these buildings and we slapped awnings on them. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 1908, Liberty Avenue at 7th Avenue looking west. And Boss Man's on the job, glaring at us. Boss Man. And we got an underground here. Probably stairs going down. We got a barber pole. So we got a barber shop in a basement, which just always kills me that you would put a barber shop in a basement with no lighting. Remember, all they had was gaslight when they built these things. So you're down underneath the ground and you got no daylight, but you do have gaslight and you're getting your hair cut. I don't know, it just doesn't really add up to me. Look at that big ass door. Something there doing with the underground. Not sure what. Suitcases, 98 cents and up. That might represent the tourist right there, hard to tell. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. At least that's the lie that they sold us. Let me give you a little advice. If you want to get married to your girl, ask her to marry you. Fuck the ring. Just saying. It's a scam. If you love a woman, ask her to marry you. Period. Don't worry about buying some piece of jewelry, because if she really loves you, that piece of jewelry ain't gonna matter. I'm just saying. That's pretty. Look at those arches. That's pretty work right there. Look at all that brick. Brick, 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 brick. 7th Avenue Hotel. Got your ether antenna up here. Maybe a little mercury ball up top. Hard to tell. Don't know. Look at that brickwork right there. Totally unnecessary. Why would you do that? Look at that. Look at that. Unnecessary. Unneeded. Unnecessary. Arched windows. More brickwork that's unnecessary. I mean, it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. It's beautiful. But it's unnecessary. And in this time frame, I just don't see the necessity of doing that. So your building can be prettier than the next guy's? Come on, man. They're all about making money. They don't care if that building looks good or not. They don't give a damn. What's your problem, man? And what are you doing, dude? You just hanging out in the middle of the road? Look at all these signs. $1 watch hospital. Okay. Alright. Overhead lines on your trolleys. Look at that big old dome and those ether antennas up there. Got arc light there. Alright. Let's get over this area here. And there's Fred. He's kind of hard to see. He's real busy at the moment, but Fred is the horse that built America, in case you were unaware and uninformed. Now you're aware and informed. And that's an arc light. Electrical supplies. Dynamos and motors. Arc lamps. Oh, we got some good stuff here. Incandescent lamps, which you can't get today hardly. I needed one for a pump house a couple weeks ago. Somebody was helping them with their pump house to get it winterized for a storm. And damn if we were having trouble finding just a 60-watt incandescent light bulb. Had to bend over backwards to find one. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, people got to store up on these things. I mean, LED might be bright, but it ain't got no heat. That's pretty. I don't even know what to say about that. What the hell is going on there? I just don't even know. Look at that arch. Jeez. Okay. A lot going on in this picture. Looks like some construction there. See, Mr. Contractor gets him a job or two. He built something. Got your diamond symbology here. There's some more diamond. Oh, look at that ether Wow. Got your eagle representing your Mercury and your Phoenix. Ether antennas. Got your portholes for the wind catcher system. More ether antennas on top. Arched windows. Photo's awful grainy. Let's see. Yep, that's weird right there. I wonder if that's a mountain back there. I don't know. That's hard. I don't know. Somebody had to let me know that one. I'm not sure about that business. We got President Kennedy on the dark yet sunny day in Dallas 50 years ago, minutes before he was assassinated. And I ran across this picture, digging through my pictures, and I just thought I'd throw it in here. As we all know, the elite of the world took out John F. Kennedy and did it in broad daylight. And no, it wasn't Lee Harvey Oswald. Oswald was on the second floor buying a Coke. And if you don't believe that, research the Warren report and look into Oswald Coke. Officer points gun at Oswald. Look at two ladies descend stairs, back stairs. Look into how long it took to cross the room, hide the gun, run down the stairs, and get into position. Basically, the Warren report proves that Lee Harvey Oswald was not the shooter and had nothing to do with the shooting. Other than the fact he was obviously a CIA asset, but he was framed for it. Anywho, this is a really good example of the bullshit that went on that day. Okay? Now, basically, every man that is around the president here, I'll go ahead and exclude, obviously, Jackie here, and the governor and his wife, but the two Secret Service agents here, and the officer here, and the officer here, and the Secret Service agents in the back car here, except the one Secret Service agent that was the one that was on duty specifically for Jackie, and he was not supposed to be on duty that day. And he's the only one that ran and jumped on the back of the car that day, which is why that happened. All the rest of them stood down. But if you'll notice that, you know, if you wanted to take out Kennedy, it would have not been hard on this day. I mean, look at this dude. Look at this dude. Okay. Look at this dude. Look at this dude. Look at this dude. Okay. You're telling me they don't have prime targeting abilities in these positions? That somebody couldn't just reach right over and pop cap in his ass? This is completely, if you know anything about Secret Service protocol, this is completely against protocol. This shit should have never taken place. And the reason this shit took place is because they wanted a crowd. They wanted people there. They wanted it to be chaos. Okay? This is a planned event. And if it ain't obvious to you, by now, I don't know what to tell you. Anywho, moving on. Private Ivan A. Smith, editor of the Camp Hood Panther, okay, at Camp Hood, Texas, originated this novel method of reminding fellow soldiers to practice desertion. If you talk too much, this man may die. Basically, keep your damn mouth shut. And you know what? People I don't think understand this. Our soldiers are threatened with imprisonment and fines, and even in certain cases, death, for telling what they know about the military. So you want to know why those boys don't talk? It's because their life's on the line. Rochester, New York, circa 1905, panorama. Woo! People seem to like these panoramas, so we'll go ahead and see what we got here. Paint it anywhere. We like to paint signs on everything. There's a lot going on in these shots. But here and there you'll see some goodies. It's got to kind of just go through it. And as always, the pictures will be in the description. You can go and do your own looking and thinking and what have you. And figure out what you think. Look at those arch windows. Those shutters on them. Huh. Let's see what we got down here. Got possible pavement light right there. Big ass doorways here. That's possible pavement light right there. On that whole line, I bet you it's pavement light. Might be pavement light there. Getting too grainy, hard to see. Look at that detail there. Got your ether antenna, your mercury ball up here. There's another ether antenna mercury ball. That's a telecommunications wire back when they had the telegraph. So that's a telegraph wire. And they would put these up and then string them out to different places. Or it's a telephone line or something like that. It has to do with telegraphy. It wasn't around very long, but that's what it is. It took me a minute to figure that one out because I kept seeing them and I kept seeing just this part and not the lines, because they would the lines wouldn't show up in a lot of the photographs, and on the postcards they would show these things with no lines on them. I'm like, what the hell is that thing? It was driving me nuts. Anyways, I figured it out. It's for telegraph or phone. It might have been for both. I'm not real sure, but it has something to do with communications at that time. So that's all it is. It's nothing important. Basic bottom line. Anywho. And we're going to printing company, best printing and engraving. Okay, arch windows. Anytime you see arch windows, just screams old world. Got a big old healing center here, here, and here. We're gonna make sure we get this town healed. That's a pretty one right there with a wind catcher on it. Look at that rose window. Da da da. Big old arched windows. Horse shit we add to it. Can't you tell the difference between our stuff and theirs? I mean, look. Awnings, horse shit. Chimney stacks, horse shit. Ether antenna. Yep. Facaded building. Brickfords. Pyramid symbology. Lots of trolley cars. Big old arches. Come get your credit. That is the biggest scam in the world, is credit. If you, the best thing you could possibly do is destroy credit. I mean, maybe not the best thing. Getting rid of the Federal Reserve would be the best thing. But I mean, credit, the credit card let's be specific. A credit card is absolutely the worst possible thing you can get. It has destroyed so many lives. I've seen it just destroy people because they'll give you buku amounts of credit. Shit, you have no ability to pay. But because you make X amount, they say, oh, well, you can get 50 times that. No problem. No big deal. Look at this arches here and how it's hollowed out. It must have been a fire or something. That's crazy. Look at that. But no, credit is just absolute horseshit. That's my opinion. Check this out. It got water here. Got an arch below down into the water here. Looks like might be something there. Got another arch here. That's all under the water. That looks like another arch there. So that's down in the ground. That's very interesting. What's going on there? There's another one of those communication towers. Look at that arch there. Let's see. Got something going on there. There's some high weirdness going on at these. And I see this quite a lot. Man, there's a lot of arched windows in this town. Man, okay. Look at those arches there. There's Fred. Fred's the horse that built America, in case you're wondering where he was. And there's Wilma behind him pulling a big old thing of hay. And Wilma's Fred's girl, lady friend. Rescue mission. People's Rescue Mission. Interesting. Yeah, something's weird going on through here. Very strange. Pyramid symbology. Another healing center back here. Let's see. Arches. Another healing center with the other finial on top. Wow, look at that healing center. Wow. That's pretty back there. Oh, look at that monster. Man, look, that looks like an Etherian tentacle up the air. Hard to tell though. But damn, that thing's massive. Another healing center back here, probably with the wind catcher on it. There's a smokestack's not a smokestack. E45. Eureka. Alrighty. Diamond symbology. Wonder if that's a rose window. Hard to tell though. Alright. There's another communications tower. Well, I think that's about got that. Moving on. San Francisco, after the devastation earthquake and fire on April 18, 1906, otherwise known as the Dew Attack, basically they destroyed the city of San Francisco and called it an earthquake. But yeah, if you believe that. Then I've got some ice that I will be able to sell you through an Eskimo. Got ladder leans here, got a lot going on. Now let me just point out now, we got arched windows. Now this is ground level. Okay, we've established ground level, people. That's the road, right? That's the road. We know that's the road, yes. Okay, then we have bunch going on underground here. Okay, what we got going on in here? Yeah, what's going on under there? Well, that's a basement. Why you put arches under the basement that look like doors, right where the doors would be? I'm just saying. I wonder what these barrels were doing here. That looks like an arch right there. Hard to tell. What you got going here? This building seemed to survive. Got a lot going on in the basements. A lot going on. What we got going here? Okay. Got a trapdoor to underground, another one right there to underground. There's another trapdoor right there. I mean, how did you buildings survive perfectly intact, yet everything around you just disintegrated? Let me think. Targeted attack? Let me put that in the computer mind and kind of see what I can come up with. Oh yeah, horseshit. Come on, people. So there's things where the joists go in. Looks like something there. Hard to tell. Got windows below ground here. This is ground level, in case you haven't figured that out yet. There's something going on there. San Francisco stock and exchange something. Chronicle. Got a steel structure going up there. Look at that pretty building. Must have wanted to keep that one. Wanted to keep that one too. Big old ether antennas on top. You know, this stuff, you know, how did it survive, you know? I mean, what a weird structure right there. Like, you got this square box, and then it's got these arched windows at the top. I mean, what in the hell? What is going on there? Da 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 da. Big ass arches. Da 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 da. Let's see. Come on. Show us something good. There's Fred. Fred's Horse Built America. He's out there on the job getting things cleaned up after the dew attack. Boy, I bet Fred's seen some things. Fred could talk. Look at those big old arches. Carpenter shop. there's Mr. Contractor's Office of Employment. He built that, no doubt. Get him, Mr. Contractor, get him. Oh my God. Arch windows. Looks like that's been photoshopped out there to me. Look at that back there. Good grief. Oh, hello, obelisk. Yeah, don't want to get rid of that. Now, how the hell did that not fall? You gonna tell me that survived an earthquake? Everything else around it is gonna fall, but the damn obelisk is gonna be like, yep, no problem. I got this. Oh my God. Okay, anyways, moving on. Savannah, Georgia, 1901, Bull Street. And let's see what we can find down on Bull Street. Florida Lee on the right iron. Da 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 da. Let's see, there's Fred. Fred's Horse Built America. I believe Savannah and Charleston are very, very old cities. Check out this big old obelisk. So there's your free energy antenna broadcasting out to the city. Look at those windows. Those are pretty. Ether antenna. There's a healing center. Probably a wind catcher there. Let's see. There's Boss Man. Could be pavement light there. Hard to tell. This is quite possibly some form of pavement light right here. I'm not sure what's going on there, but there's something going on there that has to do with the underground. I haven't seen that before, specifically, so I can't say for sure. Although it has a strange reminiscence of they made a pavement light that was a frame like this, like let's say a 4x3 frame with a coal hole cover in the middle, with pavement light on either side and in the middle of the coal hole. So they did make that, and that's kind of what that looks like. But I've not seen, this looks like a double, but I don't know. I can't say for sure on that, but it has very distinct features to be into the underground. So it's something to do with that underground. Ether antenna. And we got a wind catcher here. Pyramid symbology. Let's see. That's pretty. A lot of ether antennas there. Another wind catcher there. Ether finial. Porthole. Wind catcher. Ether finial. This is interesting. I do not know what that is. I've not seen one of those before. Looks like a ball on top of maybe 4-column, kind of like an obelisk, but I don't know. I haven't seen a double obelisk. Well, maybe in Egypt. I don't know. That's a new one on me. I don't know. That's interesting. That could be. You know, it's strange. It looks like there's another one right here. That might warrant further investigation to go and look in Savannah and see what's going on there. Got your cupola here, dome here, ether antenna, da-da-dee. Might be something else going on there that's interesting. I don't know. And we got Savannah, Georgia again, 1939, 117 Jones Street, West. Building dates from 1850s. So it's old. And I just like the wrought iron on this. I thought it was pretty. And, you know, this reminds me of a flat earth asterisk. But, you know, because you got your vertical and your horizontal. And then this could, you know, be a representation of the torus field, even though it's not really right. But either way, it's interesting. You got your vesica Pisces here. It's the symbol of the male and the female energy coming together and joining as one. So you got sacred geometry in there. That reminds me of a flame there. You got your Mudflood window. It looks like a sun and maybe a galaxy, or I don't know. It could be the snake chasing its tail. Hard to see. Not real clear there. This is a weird feature here. You got this, like, you got this oval here, but then we put bars on it, but then there's something behind it like it's been blocked in. They're obviously separate pieces. That's just odd. I don't know. That's very torus fieldy looking. What we got up here? Huh. That could be the vesica Pisces there. I don't know. It's just old wrought iron is very, very interesting and beautiful. You should look into it. We got 1937 Steuben Glass, 718 Fifth Avenue, New York. Exterior general view. William and Jeffrey Platt Architects. Okay. And I just thought this was interesting. It's a weird building there. Get your torus fields on this little building here. But this building is more of a brutalist modern building, but it's designed with glass blocks and like a prism glass style, you know, to bring in the light. And I just thought it was very odd. I've never seen a building like this. It's obviously a modern horseshit symbol. But anyways, I just thought it was interesting. Dropped in the middle of this beautiful architecture down here and on the other side. So, you know, what I really wonder is, look at that old car. Oh, that's nice. But I mean, what I'm wondering is, what did they take out of this spot in order to put this piece of horse shit in? I don't know. Just interesting. And we got 1916 Boys of Wanganui Technical College. I probably butchered that. New Zealand during an engineering class. So down on the other side of the world. I just thought this was an interesting photograph. Weird mechanical contraptions. Crazy looking fellows. Kind of fascist looking, if you want to know the truth. Very, tell me these boys don't look like maybe they're out of Nazi Germany. Just saying. Probably not. But anyways, it's just interesting. And they got these old belt-driven motors, which I think are fascinating. I think these are old world tech. These are some really strange uniforms to me. I don't know. I did not grow up in a society that wore uniforms to school, so that's anytime I see uniforms is odd to me. But big old arch window. There's those gears for the pulleys. It's like an arc light there. Check out that gear chain. It's like a gear set. That's cool. That would be a cool piece of art today. Just to have that rack full of gears. I don't know what these boys are making, but they're very serious about it. I've got 1900 Wabash Avenue north from Adams Street in Chicago. And yes, there's Fred. Fred's the horse that built America. And yes, Chicago is a mudflood city. Got pavement light, underground, more underground here, steps going down, more pavement light, steps going down there. More steps over here somewhere. We have more pavement light here and here. Lots of pavement light. And we got a trap door in the underground right there. These are coal hole covers here. There's another coal hole cover with pavement light in it. That's pavement light. That's a coal hole cover. It's an octagonal coal hole cover, which was kind of rare. But they will put pavement lights in those too. There's Boss Man. Let's see. Arch windows. We added these fire systems here. See that pole going up with those? See that right there? That's a valve to turn on and off the fire suppression, which would go up to the roof. You see it keeps on going up there. Those are fire pipes, and they put them external to the building because, well, we didn't build the buildings. And then we decided to make fires with Taurus fields on the side. We decided to make fires in the buildings that normally didn't have fires, and then we started burning buildings down, so then they had to come up with all this fire fighting equipment to fight the fires that we kept, burning places down. Because we were using chimneys that weren't chimneys, and, unless you've ever used a fireplace, if you've never used a fireplace, okay, you don't understand how a chimney is not a chimney. You have to understand fireplaces. You have got to have used them, diamond symbology. You've got to have used them, ether antenna with mercury ball. You have to have used a fireplace in your lifetime in order to understand how a fireplace actually works. You don't just throw it in there. There's a flat earth asterisk on the trolley. This is the L, EL. It's short for elevated platform. Look at these arches. Beautiful. It's just amazing. Let's just make sure nobody goes around the corner here. Okay. We got finial there. Look at that. Oh my goodness. It's like a circumpunct there. Symbol for the creator. But got their antennas up there. That's probably about all she's gonna show us. Okay, we got 1916 Henderson County, Kentucky, colored school at Aunt Holston. I probably butchered that, sorry. And I thought this old radium heater was interesting. Got your radium symbol. And this is very abnormal here to have that large of a stack on top of the unit here. But this would radiate out a lot of heat because the heat would get trapped in here because it would get stopped up. You know, it'd have to slow down. It'd speed up and then slow down, get caught in here. So you'd gain a lot of heat that way. But it's actually better to come out 90 and then go across and then go up or out. And basically you trap the heat in that way is a better way to do it. Just from my experience. Hello, people. Hello, other people. I know they're indoctrinating you. It sucks. It's terrible. I know. All you want's an education, and all they give you is indoctrination. 1941 house in old mining town, Leadville, Colorado. Look at that brickwork on that chimney. That's pretty. Diamond symbology. Look at that ether finial. Beautiful. Very techy. This is something we added. That's elaborately decorated. Ether fencing, ether finial, ether fencing, ether finial. And that's bringing in the juice. Just an interesting house. There's another ether finial. Ether fencing. Just interesting. Let's see. South Carolina, circa 1906. Old Charlestown. Church Street, just below Tread Street, showing Colonel Robert Bruton's house. Number 71 Church Street at left with Piazza. Alright, so that'd be this one. Oh, that's a picture perfect picture right there. That's just perfect. Look at that big door. Weird. Okay. And look here, we got an underground opening here with a crazy big lock on it. And this opens up too, so you have a stairs going under here, and you got a mudflood window here. Like I said, Charleston is very old. That represents the Taurus field. That's your coin right there. That's what that's called. Arched windows and door. There's Fred. Fred's Horse Built America. There's another one in my communications towers. Right there. You got windows and doors going below ground here. Same thing. You got it opens up here, these trap doors, and you have stairs going down. Got some interesting wrought iron work here. Maybe not the best picture in the world. I find this very curious how they have the trees in the middle of the road. Is that not odd? When did they, you know... Okay, we probably put that phone pole in there, but these trees in the middle of the road is very strange. I've never seen that. I don't know. That's odd to me. I don't know why they do that. This is St. Louis. Don't have any other information on it. And these are coal hole covers. See how fancy they can get. There's another one there. And these are grates that were the precursor to pavement light. They realized very quickly these were a bad idea. There's an entrance into the underground right there. Another one right there. And if you're not catching on yet, boss man, if you're not catching on yet, that you know, in the old days, okay, around circa 1900, okay, around that time frame, there is pavement light and grates and openings to the underground in every freaking city in America. Okay, and I'm sure same thing around the world, but I try to focus on America for the most part. Old world fire hydrant, I believe they're old world, that old car. But I mean, if you'll notice that there are underground openings all over the freaking place at this time, and now they're not there. And you have to question yourself, why were they there then and they're not there now? St. Paul, Minnesota, 1908, Wabash Street. And there's Fred. Fred's just hanging out. He's probably tired out, all this moving this brick around. Everybody making him build all these brick buildings. Got prism glass right there. Interesting clock. Cable company. Got your geisha girl. Bazaar. Got you a temple of something. Ooh, look at that brickwork. Reminds me of a shell there. Like a Phoenician shell, diamond symbology. Got an arch there. Look at that brickwork. That is very unnecessary. Arch windows. Healing center back there. Another healing center. Whatever's gonna get healed. Old phonograph being delivered. Perfect Havana cigar. That's pretty. So unnecessary. Big old arch windows. Ladies in uniform. Is that marble? I don't know, it could be. Old ether lights there. Okay, I think that's about the interest there. Oh, and we got it in color. How about that? Just another way to see it. Yeah, that marble pops out now. That might be what they call green Italian marble. Seems like I have seen that in a home before that I worked on. Reminds me of very much of that marble. Look at that barber pole. I didn't even notice that on the last picture. Oh, look at that. You can see the people inside now. When you colorize them, it brings out some things, I mean, it's not a true representation of what was there, but it's interesting nonetheless to look at. Gives you a different perspective. I mean, Fred in color, you can't beat that. Might be ventilation and underground there. Just gives it a different perspective. Oh, I-879. Phoenician shell, probably. just a whole different perspective when you look at it like that. Anyways, I got 1939 Butte, Montana, men lounging in front of the arcade. And I just thought this Mudflood winter was interesting. I mean, it's obviously boarded up now. They didn't need it. So why did they build it that way? And you know, that's something that just is absolutely amazing to me. How many of these windows are boarded up or bricked up? That, you know, they built them because they needed them. They absolutely need them. It was such a good idea, yet they boarded up and blocked up so many of them. Or made them hard to get to or see or use or do anything with. And there's stairs going down into the underground right there. There's prism transoms. Got prism glass in there. It's Moorish looking. Anyways, just interesting. Moving on. We got Syracuse, New York, 1905, New York Central Railroad Depot. And going in, let's see what we got. That's a weird train. Oh, it's a coal. Put your coal there, and you got your train here. Okay, that's odd. Oh, we got flat earth asterisks all over the side of it. Well, those are important. That way we at least know what kind of earth we're on. I mean, come on, y'all. This symbol is absolutely everywhere. Okay, so look, there it is again. Okay, if this symbol is so important, which it obviously is, okay, and it's all over today too, you're going to see it. I'm telling you, I am telling you, you're going to see this symbol in your freaking dreams. You're going to be watching the news. You're going to be watching your favorite TV shows. You're going to be looking in magazines. You're going to be anywhere you look, either in old movies or old pictures, old whatever. Okay, anything modern. Okay, you're going to see this symbol. Okay, you're going to see it over and over and over again. You're going to have to question yourself at some point, why do I not know what that symbol means? Why have I never been told what that symbol is, what it means, why it's there, why they use it so much? You know, I call it flat earth asterisk because, well, I don't know what else to call it. Okay, there's no mention of this in architectural, diagrams of architectural designs. They just ignore it. Okay? It doesn't exist. Yeah, it does exist. It's freaking everywhere. So, I'm just saying that this, in my opinion, is the symbol of flat Earth, and many others agree with me on this. And I believe that will be drawn out, and it will be found to be true down the road. But I just want you to just start looking for it, because you're gonna be really surprised when you start really looking for it. It's really gonna jump out at you. It's gonna get annoying. It gets annoying to me. I see it freaking everywhere now. I mean, it will get under your skin. You'll see it so much. Seriously, electric car, big old choo choo. And there's Fred. Fred does color change. In case you didn't know, Fred is the horse built America. And there's his girlfriends. Well, that's Wilma. That's his lady friend, and that's his other girlfriend. We won't talk about her. There's another flat earth asterisk with a porthole in the middle. So that's a wind catcher. There's another right there. And by porthole, you see how that window opens and closes? That's how they regulated the air at their finial. Looks like a train on top. That's cool. Arc lights. Da, da, da. It's like Boss Man there. Okay. An arc light there. Alright, that's about it for that picture. The Buffalo River City Ship Canal and Flour Mill Elevators, 1911, a busy section of the canal, Buffalo, New York. And what can we find here? They got more lifeboats on this boat than they had on the Titanic. And I'm just, I don't know what it is. I don't know the real story there, but I do believe the Titanic is a big old load of Hollywood horse shit. So I don't know what really happened there, but I would not go with the official narrative on that one. There's Boss Man checking things out, making sure everything's copacetic. That's just a big structure. That barge, a wood barge. The interesting tower thing. It's strange to me that the side of this building, like, why would they feel the need to put in the diamond shapes or pyramid shapes, or what's the point of that? Such a plain building, does it need decoration? I don't know. Kind of odd. I don't know, I just thought it was an interesting picture. I don't know what this stuff is. I don't know what I'm looking at, but I thought it was interesting nonetheless. And we got the heart of Chinatown, San Francisco, after the earthquake and fire, 1906, aka Do Attack, Chinaman. And we got bricks. Why are there bricks down? When's the last time that fire burned buildings to the ground? That's a new one on me. Look at that. I could definitely see Do Weapons doing that. That's very reminiscent of the towers coming down right there, how they superheated the metal. Yep. Very reminiscent of that. Yeah, wrought iron work. Arched windows back there and there. And there's those pieces where the joists go into the brick. So I believe that's old world. Arched windows. See how we added the chimneys here. So they've modified what was there, because the chimneys weren't chimneys. Arched windows. These pieces they would help hold up the walls. These pieces here. Look at these poles, how they're burned to a crisp. This just don't add up to me. San Francisco, very, very suspect. And that looks vanilla skied. Look how freaking clean that is. I mean, it's just absolutely perfect. Look at that. Absolutely perfect. Just straight cut out of the negative. Just cut right out. Let's get back out. Look. Yep. I'd say it's vanilla skied. I mean, it just has that telltale look. You know? And you can give any excuse you want to that, oh, the clouds weren't pretty, or oh, the negative was ugly up here, or oh, The sun was in the camera. Oh, give all these excuses, but you know, that might work for one picture or 3 pictures, but when you have thousands of pictures that look like this is an agenda. This is them hiding something. Now, what they're hiding, I don't know. That symbol there. What they're hiding, I don't know. But I ain't buying it. The New Jersey Shore, circa 1900, Hotel Windsor, Atlantic City. It left the Tremor. That's Boss Man. And these little things you could get in here, and the little fellow would push you around on a little cart. So you got these portholes here. These are very common in Atlantic City because I believe that these went down another level. You see a lot of stuff underneath there. Diamond symbology. An actual black man. How about that? I'm watching Carnival Row now. I'm usually watching something or another here and there, but Carnival Row is the show I'm watching right now on a recommendation from, I believe, Calum a long time ago, but I just got around to watching it, and it's pretty good. A lot of old world themes in it, and architecture, and it's a very cool show. There's a character, one of the main characters, black guy with horns. I think he's got horns, and he's like a real rich guy. That looks just like him, without horns. Anyways, that's a good show. Oh, got you a flat Earth asterisk in case you need to know what kind of Earth you're on. I mean, you might forget. I don't know how you'd forget with all these asterisks around. You got Fred, he's, here doing the horsing and getting the, Atlantic City inbuilt. And look how low that door is. Seems awful low. Because look at this guy's head. His head is basically the top of that. So that's a door. That's ridiculous. And these people just wear so much clothes. Ether finials up there, little onion domes, little wind catcher. There's a mercury ball ether antenna, ether finial. I mean, I don't know why these people wearing so much clothes. It's like, I mean, hey, at some point, you would think they'd want to show some skin or something. I don't know. I mean, how you gonna know what you would? Like, this guy could not. I don't know. What is he? What do people look like under all that? I don't know. How the hell you know what these people look like underneath these freaking carpets? I don't know. The Jersey Shore, 1920, Atlantic City Boardwalk, and New Garden Pier. And I'm attracted to this, so I'm going to go there. Okay. Vaudeville. High class. Check that out. It could be portholes there. Hairnet. Okay. Alrighty. Horseshit signage. We definitely did that. Pyramid symbology. Ether antenna. Pyramid symbology. Blah, 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 blah. Portholes. And why they built these big ass structures out on piers, I do not know, because we all know that they don't last. Ether antenna. Electric shop. Okay. Dancing every night. Well, they love signage. Globe. So they're pushing the globe there. There's a flat earth asterisk. part of a sign. I don't think it counts, but it could. I don't know. You could make a case for that, but I won't. It's too easy. Portholes, Phoenician shell. Looks like Tartarian lines there. I said it. What you gonna do about it? Nothing. You old windbags. Let's see. Use Hennessy's. Okay. Glassware. Okay, whatever. Gosh, they got a lot of horseshit signage. And I like to read signs, so Japanese ping pong. Now I don't know what Japanese ping pong is. That's a new one on me. Japanese now, they got some different ideas now. Look at all these dang people. And all these people sitting on their fat ass getting rolled around. I just don't know. What do you... Why do you want to get rolled around in a crowd of people? I mean, what's the point of that? Philadelphia Inquirer. There's another flat earth asterisk. Now that one counts, no doubt. No question. I mean, I would give anything just find one photograph with a bikini girl in it. From this time, that would be so awesome. There's Fred. Fred's Horse Build America. He's out there getting him some beach action. I mean, I just can't imagine why you would go to the beach with all these clothes on. That just don't make no sense to me. It's got to be hot. I don't know. Maybe they didn't make beaches hot back then. I don't know. What do I know? Dang. Alright, moving on. The shell of the 1894 Limerick Inn in Larkspur, California. And I just thought this picture was interesting because you got the juxtaposition of the obviously the fella is recreating a picture that was taken him when he was a boy, which is cool. But I'm more interested in the door here and the window here, and how, you know, in the old times, you know, you still had a door on it with a big glass up here, and this was a window, but it's been busted out. And then later on, they boarded it in. So over time, it shows how things change, and obviously somebody's painted it, and you know, just these things these little subtle changes that nobody really notices that change the aesthetics of how things look. I don't know, just thought it was interesting. Moving on. Toledo, Ohio, 1907, Walbridge Park Annex, casino boardwalk and roller coaster on Maumee River. I hope I said that right. And this is a big roller coaster here. Check that sucker out. Ether antennas. Why you build these big structures out on water, I just don't know. I think these flagpoles here, I think we added those or moved them off of somewhere and added them. Ether antenna, ether finial over here. But yeah, I think we did. Whenever you see them angled like this, I think that's what we did. And I think that we did it because it was easier to get the flags up and down instead of having to climb up on the roof to change them out. Just an idea. It's a big ass structure. Ether antennas all over it. I don't know. Just weird. Toledo, Ohio again on 1909 Summit Street. And we got ventilation there. Might be something going there. Looks like a trap door there. That's boss. That's boss man right there. There's boss man. Weird how he's riding. There's Fred. Fred's horse built America. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Prism glass. Prism glass up here in the transom. Arch windows. Clocks are expensive. There's transom glass, prism glass. Lady in uniform. There's another clock. I mean, we've gone a half a block, quarter block, if that, and we've got a second clock. Arc light. These clocks have to be expensive. I mean, they just really do. So, why are we seeing so many clocks? That's a cool old car. Bass. Arc lights. Hotel Niagara. Prism glass in the transoms. Ether antenna. Okay, I think that's about it for that one. Washington, D.C., 1920 Jordan Piano Company window. And this one's not too thrilling, but I did want to show you one thing. We'll look at what's all here in the image here. Okay, people looking out the window there. Odd. And she's just staring out the window. And there's the little doggy. The RCA doggy. There he is. It's like a person standing there. Love nest. Woohoo! Okay. And I just, I just got attracted to all that pavement glass. I had to show you. It's all across the front there. I couldn't resist. Washington, D.C., 1921 U.S. Weather Bureau, Kiosk, Pennsylvania Avenue. So we got flat earth asterisks on the kiosk, because that's important. So you're getting your weather and you're finding out what, and you got torus fields on it. And pyramid symbology. Let's make sure we know where we are, while we're getting our weather. Da 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 da. Washington Post. Portholes up here. There's an anomaly in the negative there. That's a very interesting feature there. Tartarian lion. Another Tartarian lion. Another one there. Arched windows. Ether antenna up there. That line looks really very odd there. I don't know, very strange. Very strange arch windows here. Look at this business here. That's very weird. Interesting architecture for sure. Ether lights. There's stairs going in the underground right there. Ventilation in the underground right there. I got a ladder lean on a big ass window because, yeah, we're going to build our windows this big because it's so easy to install them. I'm sorry, I've installed windows half that size and it was a pain in the ass. Now granted, there was only 2 of us, but it was still a pain in the ass. Moving on. And I thought I'd show a couple catalogs. I've got This is Preservation Tech Notes from the U.S. Department of Interior, National Park Service, and Cultural Resources. This one's called Historic Glass, Repair and Reproduction of Prismatic Glass Transoms. And this right here is a prismatic glass transom. And what they were the above the main section of a storefront, they would have what was called the transom. That the transom is this whole part here. Okay, from here, that's this whole part is called the transom. The prismatic glass is these little individual glass plates. And what they did was they shot light back into the building. And they were sold by the same companies that sold the pavement lights. And you can still find them today. They also solarized and turned purple. So when you could find them on eBay today, just search prismatic glass or prism glass. Sometimes you could put in the word Luxfer, and that's a brand. And you can find these prism transom glass on eBay, and they're relatively cheap. They're because there was a lot more of these than there were of the pavement glass, and they're very simple. But there were ones that had designs in them. As you can see, some of these do have designs, but there were some that were supposedly, quote unquote, designed by Frank Lloyd Wright, and they are very expensive. And they have sacred geometry patterns in them, things like this. So those are very valuable. But anyways, this is something you might want to read through, and you might learn some interesting things. That's the prism glass from the side, and see how the light comes in, the sunlight hits the front of the glass, and then the little prisms here, that little jagged portion there, that's the prism. Okay, and that refracts the sunlight back into the building. And so see, here's the exterior of the building, and here's the awning, and here's the transom coming in, and the sun comes down, hits the glass, and then goes back into the building. And that's how that works. Here's a building with the prism transoms all across the front here. Give you an idea. There's an up close. They had different kinds, and different kinds would some would like diffuse the light around, and some would, you know, pinpoint it. Some would have designs in it, and sometimes they had like right here, they would have little pieces that open so you could get ventilation. There was different versions of them. You could order them to spec, supposedly. Some of these, the whole thing would turn on a swivel, and these little part right here would open up and give you ventilation. But you should read these catalogs. They'll be in the description. You go do your own thinking. So I got that catalog. And this is catalog number 2 of the historic glass, and this is called Repair and Rehabilitation of Historic Sidewalk Vault Lights. And these are what's called bullseyes, and these are the later version that had the nubs in them. This is the glass here, and they had a prism underneath that. This is the top, and this is like right here's the nub, and the nub was added later because people were slipping on them too bad. They got rid of these too. They quit. Well, you can still find a few around, but they mainly got rid of them because ladies' heels would punch through them, and they would break the glass out. So they realized those were a bad idea. And there's some pavement glass there. There's the bullseye kind. That's a coal hole cover there. And I highly suggest to read these catalogs. I'm not going to read them to you. You don't get it if I read it to you. You got to do your own thinking. You got to do your own reading. Reading is good for you. These are some pavement glass that's they're pretty wore out here. And here's a guy, he's refurbishing them. He's using a wheel grinder to get the metal shaving down, get the rust off of it. And this is what they look like underneath. That's the prism part underneath the nub, underneath the little bullseye. And this is how they would work. There's a platform. I've shown those before, and this is a sidewalk, and it would shine underneath here. And you notice this one has a sub basement. You got a basement, and then this is called a sub basement. So they had multiple levels of basements underneath with prism glass in them. This is a stair with prism glass in it. That's a trapdoor with prism glass. And that's what they actually look like. There's your nubs, and there's your glass, and there's your prism. This one's made by the Hyatt Glass Company. And there's what it would look like underneath. And these are the iron beams that would go across, and they would rest on top of that. There's some more restoration work. More. Here they're caulking them into place. That's a big problem with them, is they leaked. And so they took them out. See, they're taking them off the truck here to stack them up. Working on them here. There's a coal hole cover there and there. These look like after they've already been refurbished here, and they're putting them back in. Because you can see the caulk around the edges there. That's not original. They didn't originally have caulk. Concrete vault lights here. And this is them, how they're making them. The big glass ones. So anyways, it gives you some interesting information to look on. Give it a look. We got Washington, D.C., 1924, Brownlee Interior. I guess that's the name of this store. And this is looking out towards the front of the store. Not sure what they're selling. Maybe chocolates. That's what it looks like. Yeah, I'd say it's a chocolate store. But I was interested in, the detail that this sheet metal roofing. I believe this is old world. And it had something to do, I believe, with the free energy and radiating the energy around in the building. Is my thinking. It was very beautiful. Very, very ornate. Represent Taurus field there. I believe it's like a sweet shop or something. Little arches in your windows there. This is the transom up here. No transom, no prism glass in this one. But those are the transoms. And see how they open up? That's part of the wind catching system. So it allow for ventilation. And we got the opposite view, which is going back into the store. So I thought this was kind of cool. Just get you a whole big long view of the room. Very ornate. I mean, you buying chocolates here? I mean, seriously? All this to buy chocolates. What kind of chocolates y'all selling? I mean, I've had chocolates. I've had good chocolates. Man, I mean, what's this statue about? Interesting. This tile floor could be old world. Anyways, just interesting. Washington, D.C., 1925 Northeast Auto Exchange on H Street. Now we got a smokestack. It's not a smokestack. Some big ass wall here. Wonder if that's a prison. I don't know. Well, you're just too cool for me. These cars bought, sold, exchanged. Alrighty. Better service. Alcohol for sale for automobiles. That reminds me of that book, Alcohol as a Gas, or Is a Gas. It's a book about talking about how you can run your car off alcohol. I'm sure you can still get that book. Pretty interesting. And I just thought this was interesting. You know, you got I've talked about this before, how you got your store windows, and underneath the store windows, they're hollow. So obviously they're doing some kind of work where they're running a hose down into the basement area. So there's a basement under here, and this is going underneath the display. And these are windows, and they're open up. Yeah, I just thought it was interesting. And we got Washington, D.C., 1927, the French embassy across from Meridian Hill Park on 6th Street. That's just a pretty photograph. Almost doesn't look real. It's so nice. And this is, I guess, the French embassy. Reminds me of that, what it's called, the Teo, the cross with the circle on top. What that reminds me of. Pyramids, symbology, Phoenician shells. More Phoenician shells, portholes, Tauruses. But something was in the middle of that and they scrubbed it off. A very clear sky. Got a lot of anomaly right there on the edge of the photograph, which I think is a possibility of a telltale sign of it being vanilla skied. When you have this anomaly right off the edge of the photograph, I don't know what causes that, but it red flags to me while they did that. At their fencing up here, arches. Can't see a whole lot back there. Check out that wind catcher there. Got a clock. At their finials up there. At the finial, arch windows. That's about the gist of it. Oh, there's a little car there. Check that out. Old world fire hydrant there. Okay, moving on. Washington, D.C., 1931. Construction of Arlington Memorial Bridge over the Potomac River. I just thought this was just a really cool photograph. I mean, anything for 1942, I believe, is suspect. Check it out. Tauruses. So, you know, is this, that looks, I believe, I'm not positive, but that right there looks like a fasciste to me. It looks like there's a one on the opposite side. I can't say for sure, but that's what it looks like. Look at this mechanics here. I mean, jeez. That's some hell of engineering right there. That's just massive. That looks like a workhorse right there. Anyways, just kind of interesting. Washington, D.C., 1931, 5th Street at Pennsylvania Avenue. Note the traffic lights which made their D.C. debut in 1926. Okay, well, who cares? We got Old World Fire Hydrant. Boss Man. American Security. Guys on the roof. Arch windows. Got your other antenna up there. Check that thing out. So that's where the old police officer used to hang out up in that booth up there running traffic. And they're saying that there's another one. They're saying this is when they added the stoplight. I guess that's the stoplight. You just notice the clothes. I mean, people's clothes have changed. You know, they don't look like they're in uniforms anymore. They look like they're individualizing now to an extent. I mean, people always run in trends, but, you know, I'm sorry, a boater hat, you know, ain't a trend, even though they call it a trend. When everybody has a boater hat, it's an agenda. When everybody has a bowler hat, it's an agenda. When everybody has a top hat, it's an agenda. Keystone, arch doorway, arch windows, arch doorway. That's a pretty building. Tourist fields. Maybe a Sub Rosa there. Ether finial, wind catcher, clock. Clocks are expensive. That's a pretty building. Venetian shells. Could be some line action there. Can't tell though. We can only speculate. Oh, this is cool. A Washington, D.C., 1932 Capitol Traction Company trolley and car barn. And a trolley car barn, in case you're unaware, is, and I learned this from doing my Raleigh research, the car barn is where they would bring in the trolleys in order to, one, they would store them, but also the car barn was more important than just a storage facility. It was a facility where they could maintain them and work on them and repair them and place out parts. So the car barn was actually the mechanic shop for the trolleys. So this is kind of a rarity to see a car barn in an old photograph. I have pictures of car barns, but they're modern and they don't have the cars in them, and they've been changed over and they just completely different. But so this is a nice find here, to find a car barn and to see how they dealt with the trolleys when they weren't out on the streets and moving around and getting people to and from. So this is where they worked on them. Cool, huh? Then we got Washington, D.C., early 1860s, Treasury Department in Lincoln's time, cash room behind the desk. So this is a shot from behind the desk, which explains why there's so much trash on the floor. Tourist fields. We got wrought ironwork. Wow. Venetian wave there. Marble. Venetian shell. Look at these chandeliers. Very nice. Gosh, it strikes me how you know, this might be just my personal way of seeing it, but it seems to me like people, older people, elderly people, that they view like chandeliers as being very valuable and very elegant and very expensive and something that should be taken care of and pampered and babied and, you know, cleaned and polished and blah 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 blah. But then you got my generation, and we just look at them as like gaudy and in the way and overpriced and ridiculous and not bright and just a waste of money. And it's like, you know, people try to, you know, give their children their prized family chandelier, and people are like, hell no, or they take it and then they hawk it because they don't want it. It's just interesting to me. Washington, D.C. real estate circa 1920, 16th Street Northwest and Webster South Side. And this picture is interesting to me because I believe that they're passing this house off as new construction. I believe that's the idea here. But, you know, it's possible. It's possible it's new. It's got, some new characteristics. It's got some old characteristics. It's got some new technique, old technique. It's got some, I don't know. It's like it's either a new construction that's done to look like the old world construction, or it's an old world construction that was new when they found it, and they are unboxing it for the public. It's like, here, look, we built this one recently. I don't know. It's just very kind of odd to me. It's just a strange one. Okay, we got Washington's Leader Theater, 1921, now playing The Serial Invisible Ray. And from 1916, Douglas Fairbanks in the Americana, and a short called The Return of Draw Egan. Okay, whatever. And they really put on a show for these old movies. Look at these childrens. Oh my God. Oh my God. Mothers, why do you dress your children like this? Why? You know that child got his ass beat. You know they just took him out back and beat the fool out of him looking like that. Come on, mothers. Dang. You can't do that. You can do that to your girls, okay? Girls, you can doll them up. Don't doll your boys up. That just gets your ass beat. I'm sorry. I'm telling you from a boy's perspective. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't put them in cute little outfits. Boys they're not cute. I mean, they're cute, but they're not meant, don't do that. Don't, I feel so sorry for him. Look at that dorky little hat. Oh my gosh. That's Boss Man. He knows he gonna make some money today. That's odd. That's odd. Okay. Okay, what's going on here? That's creepy. Okay. Yeah, they really put on a spectacle to go to the movies. I mean, that was big theater. Check out these statues here. Check that out. That's kind of wicked. Well, that's that. Moving on. And we got electricity building during the construction for the Louisiana Purchase Exposition World's Fair in 1904. And, this is going to be, me just pointing out that these pictures are highly suspect. Highly suspect. Do you see that? See anything wrong there? So, I mean, they definitely altered this photo. No question. Why are they altering the photos? Okay, I'm giving you a chance to show your construction photos. Okay, that's the whole point of my series of the construction photos of the Louisiana, Louisiana Purchase Exposition construction photos. The whole point is to give you a chance to prove your point that you built them, and then you give me altered photographs. There's no question that photograph has been altered. See how it's dark here, light here. Okay. See how it's dark behind there? That is a 100% photoshopped photo. Why are you showing me Photoshop photos and passing them off as construction photos? Now, it's not my job to decide for you whether or not these photographs are real, or if we built these or we did not build these. But I feel it is my job to present you with the material that you can make up your own damn mind. And I hope in some way, shape, or form that I can help you with that, and that together we can walk forward into a new truth. I hope that helps. Beaks out.
Say woof again! Say woof again!
I've got one that can see.
This is my kung fu, and it is strong.
See you later.